honestly thought it would be 10 minutes. Now tell me it's raining outside without telling me it's raining outside. I have like the kind of hair Wurzel Gummidge will be proud of, and it was sleek. And then the rain came. So this is what I look like. I was out jogging this morning and yeah. I wish I had nice curly hair. Not the, you know, like lovely ringlet curls. Not the waves. But anyway, I am going to sort this out. Now before we do some Christmas decorating, I wanted to just have a little, not Christmas disclaimer, that's not the word, but I did recently, I just touched upon it in one of the kind of decorating videos. I think it was the one where I went to like a Christmas event, and I don't want to say I'm not as enthusiastic as I usually would. And even though I had a year of firsts, so like in the past year, like last year I had, you know, first Christmas, then you have anniversaries, so it's been the year of firsts. And I did think that, you know, Christmas maybe I would feel a bit different this year, but when I was chatting to people in the comment section, a lot of people were kind of saying that Christmas can be like a bit of a trigger. So I want to keep this video nice and lighthearted, but I also want to say, because there was loads of lovely comments being like, I love your Christmas decor, I cannot wait. And I kind of feel like I may let you down, but that's okay. So when I look back at some of the Christmas decor videos from like in 2019, there was a Christmas tree in the bedroom. Hands up who remembers the Christmas tree in the bedroom. That was bougie. That girl, she don't exist this year. And even when I look back at like, you know, 2020, 2021, I was so glitzy and so Christmassy. But last year I actually really liked the kind of more natural decor, like the Foraged mantelpiece, because I was able to keep that up until January. Also, I am going to be doing my face while I'm chatting to you, and I do have a merit discount code. So their Black Friday starts on the 24th, but I have a code, I'll put it in the description, and you can use that code with the link and you can get early access. So you can shop it before everybody else. And I'll put that code in the comment section and I'll put it in the description. But if you are watching this if you're watching this on the 24th and after, you don't need the code. It will be live on site, so you can just use the link. Now, what am I using on my face? I'm using the uniform. And this was my summer shade. So I'll come in closer so you can see my skin, but the uniform is a tinted mineral sunscreen, and this was my summer one. So I've changed shade. So I've been using since around about September shade 26, but all summer, and I have gone to pan. Tempted to just cut the top off and scoop it out. This is shade 22. So if you watch like any of the summer videos, this was my hero product. And yeah, I'm on a new bottle. So I use this like every day. And this is like when I go to the park, when I'm out jogging, just going to the shops. The two things I use every day is the brow pomade, you'll see me put this on in a minute, and the uniform. These are my, if you are stranded on a desert island, these two and good old Lusitano. So that is what I have on my face. And I'm also just gonna do, I think I'm also going to pan on this as well. This is shade Sandstone, and this is the uniform. So you've seen me use this before. I have gone to pan. I've gone to pan. That's because I use this, I think I'm using this one since summertime. I did have a different shade that was a bit too dark, and someone had mentioned it in the comment section, so thank you. And they recommended trying Sandstone, and this is perfect. So if you put the uniform on and you want a bit more coverage, I stick this on. And sorry, I'm using the viewfinder, which might be a bit annoying. So I put this kind of around where I want a bit more coverage, which is usually around here, a little bit here, and on my chin. And then what I'll do is I will just blend. And this just is like my skin, but it's almost like having a filter on your skin, because people still compliment my skin. And that's when you know makeup is good, when it doesn't look like makeup. You just look like yourself, but a bit more healthier and a bit more radiant. So yeah, Christmas, I still want to get like the festive feeling. I'm not being like bah humbug, but I'm just not feeling the glitz in the house. But at the same time, I want to decorate for when my nieces and nephew come over. And yes, you did hear me say nieces, plural, during the summer. It was actually about 3-4 weeks before my mom's anniversary. I got a brand new niece. So my brother had a new baby and she's adorable. So there's been a lot of kind of changes obviously in the family in the past year. So yeah, I have like a new niece for Christmas, and this is her first. And yeah, and then obviously Jack and Lily as well. So I think they make it like more, I want to have decorations up for when they visit. Like I don't want them to visit and be like, why is there no decorations? Even though inside I'm not feeling festive. Yeah. Now, bronzer this time of year, I am using, I think it's called the Bronze Balm. I'm using shade Sen or Cien. No, Sen. How do I pronounce that? Just because this time of year, my Irish skin can look a bit transparent. So also I'm using the exact same brush. I don't change brushes. So yeah, I'd love to know, like, has Christmas, obviously when you get older, Christmas change. I do think little ones, whether it's niece, nephews, grandkids, your friends, little ones, they do kind of make it fun, don't they? But I feel like Christmas when you get older, it's, I don't know, I suppose it's what you make it, isn't it? It's, now this is literally how quick I do my makeup, right? So I do base, bronze, blush, brows, bit of setting powder. I actually have some of the blotting papers that I started using in the past month. And then sometimes mascara, but not always. Now, my two blushes, the Flush Balms. So Lusitano was my favourite in spring into summer, and I completely used it up and I got a new one. But Le Bon Bon is now up there. And I don't know if it's just this time of year. Le Bon Bon is like that. You remember Francesca Bridgerton in Bridgerton? Now that looks very pink, but stay with me. And do you ever watch any of those like period dramas and they have a rosy pink flush and it looks like they've just pinched their cheeks? Now stay with me. This, yeah, I feel like you get this with Le Bon Bon. And if you look on the Merit website, you can see what it looks like on different skin tones. So if you have a darker skin tone, more olive, or if you're like really, really pale, the good old pale Irish skin, you can see what this looks like on different tones. So that's what it's like on mine. So you can also just put a bit on the lips. Now, I need to check an actual mirror and not do my makeup in the viewfinder. Oh yes, this just has a lovely glow. I'll move you over so I'm not so backlit. So I don't know if you can see, it's like really dewy. Now, if it's too dewy, you can just use like a setting powder. I have some of the blotting papers, and you actually get the blotting paper and this card case free with orders while stocks last. So you can use the discount code, you can get your discount 20% off, and then you will get a free reusable card case. But inside of it, you also get the blotting papers. Yeah, so you get the free blotting papers. So I'm going to, I'll show you what it looks like. I know some people will have different skin tones. I've like combination skin, but this time of year it's kind of more on the drier side, and I love a kind of dewy look. But yeah, if you find under here gets a bit oily, use the blotting papers. I don't want to use it too much because I don't want to lose my glow. But yeah, you can use the blotting papers throughout the day if you find you are on the more oily, shiny side. If you need to control the glow, I'm all about the glow. I be gone. Remember when highlighter was like the thing back in like, I'm gonna say maybe 2010, 2012, 2013, and like big chunks of illuminated highlighter. I still am a fan, but my friends are like, girl, don't be going to town on the highlighter. So now what I use for my eyes, actually, I have a new eyeshadow that I was trying. So this is one of the Merit eyeshadows. And this is a lovely, it's lovely on like blue, hazily eyes. I feel like it just makes them pop. And I just do a wash of this over my eye. I just look a bit more, I don't know. When I put eyeshadow on, you know I'm leaving the house. Eyeshadow and mascara. I am hitting the streets. So this is like, I'm gonna move you forward. You might see better when I do this eye here. I try to film whenever I'm doing anything with skin or makeup in like as natural light as possible so that you can see what it looks like. So we are going to forage today. I have a tree out the back that has loads of lovely red berries on it. Now I was out jogging this morning, and where I jog there is loads of ivy. Now I hope you can see that. It's just a lovely, this is shade, oh I can't pronounce this one, Glacy, Glace, Fodder, Glacy. And it's solo shadow and there's like a sheen to it. I do have some other colours. I have Iris and I have Sartorial. I think I tried this one. Yeah, no, I'm not going to stick this on because I'm not going out today. But there's that colour as well, which if you want to do a bit of like definition, that one is good. Brows and mascara. If I wasn't waffling to you, my makeup will be done in 5 minutes. That is like my 5-minute face. But, so when I was out this morning on my jog, I saw lots of holly. I've been keeping an eye on it. But the only problem is with taking holly from like parks is I don't like doing it because then everybody is doing, like if everybody was to forage all of the ivy, there would be none left for nature. So I asked there was some of it that was creeping out onto a walkway. And I asked the guy, the rangers that are there, I don't know if park rangers is their name, but the lads who work for the council. And I was like, if you're trimming any of the holly at the walkway, can I have some? And he was like, oh, I don't know if we're going to trim it, but yeah, because I'm always there. But I have seen people just taking holly and yeah, I don't know. I feel it's not my land. Now, last year we did ivy, if you remember, and I have loads of ivy. And I also noticed I do have to trim branches on the tree, and I feel like I could take a branch off and get lots of foliage on it. It's like my evergreen tree out the back, and there's a lovely berry on it this time of year. But like that, I don't want to take too much off it because there's a berry on it and it's for the birds. But at the same time, it's free decor. Now, another Christmas trend that I'm seeing online, and I don't think Christmas should be like a trend, the whole people feeling like they need to change their decorations all the time and it like be a trend. But I've seen Ralph Lauren Christmas is a trend, and I think it's like them selling nostalgia, which is nice because I feel like a lot of us are craving that. But a trend that I seen and I was like, oh actually I really like this, is Little Women Christmas. So the movie Little Women, the recent one I love, but also the older version. And something I noticed in those movies is the lovely simple foraged decor. So there's a garland on the mantelpiece in that movie, and I think I want to replicate that. I bought some oranges in the supermarket this morning, and I'm gonna try and dehydrate them in the air fryer because there's a dehydrate function, and I saw someone trying to do it. Like the idea of the Little Women Christmas, because one of the things I loved in January was I could keep my garland up. I think it was February when I took it down, and it went straight into the compost because it wasn't like into the compost. I am using the Clean Lash mascara, and when I say that this doesn't, but like this does not transfer here or here, it does not budge. There is nothing worse than when a mascara like transfers onto your eye, like up here, especially like during summer, you know, when you're a bit more sweaty. I brought this, I was using this on holidays back in August, and it passed the sweat test. So this is Clean Lash mascara. I think the shade is just black. Yeah, I can't see what's on the end, but I'm just using the black Clean Lash mascara. So I vouch for this with the no transfer. And I'm actually on my second one of these. I actually need to use my own code to stock up on. I need to get a new sandstone. I need to get a new uniform. I need to get a new mascara. Maybe some lip products. Again, when I put lippy on, you know I'm going to the pub. I think it's the only time I put the lippy on. I actually do have a bit of lippy here. This is a ginger. This is one of the moisturizing lipsticks. We can put a bit on today. There you go. Now, if only there was something I could fix my hair with. So if you have been wondering what has been my makeup in any of the videos this summer, it's been all of that. So it has been, the most common things I use is the Uniform tinted SPF moisturizer. Then I'll use the Minimalist for extra bit of coverage around the kind of center of my face. Then it is bronzer, Bronze Balm, Flush Balm, and then it's either Lusitano or Le Bon Bon. Brow pomade for a quick fluffy brow, and then Clean Lash mascara. That is it. That is the face. Now, if you want to shop any of the products, if you're all watching this and it's after the 24th, you can just use the link and that will get you your discount. And also don't forget you get the free card case and blotting papers with all orders while stocks last. And if you're watching this before that, so if you're watching this on the 20th, you can use the code and get early access. You will also get your free reusable card case with the blotting papers with orders while stocks last, and you'll get your 20% off. So use the code if you're watching this before the 24th. And let me know if you have tried this, because I think it was back in early summer I was sharing my kind of merit makeup routine, and a couple of you guys had got some of the bits. So let me know if there was something you tried, if you liked it, what product is your fave, did you get the balm? And don't forget to look on the website to see what it looks like on other skin tones. And my skin is combination to slightly dehydrated this time of year in winter time. I don't have oily skin, so just if you're comparing it to my skin tone. And yeah, if I was doing this for like a nighttime routine, I would use the same amount of product, but I would probably just go a bit heavier on the Uniform. So I would just do a couple more, like maybe 2 applications of the Uniform. But that is it. I will try and just change lighting angle as well. So this is my makeup. I feel like the lighting is not as bright here. It's a grey day, so I feel like this lighting is a bit better. A little bit of light coming in from the window there, but just to give you more of a look to see the skin is skinning today. So yeah, that is, I'm not a makeup vlogger, so I always feel really awkward putting my face on. But a lot of you are asking what has been on my skin, and that is it. that is it. Also, Merit is now available from this summer in Ireland. So any Irish ladies watching, it is now available. Okay, I'm gonna throw on my jacket and we are going to forage. In the garden, I have this tree, and in my head, I was way taller on a ladder to get to certain branches than the reality of it. If you look how small I am to this tree. So I really wanted some branches that had loads of berries on them, but the branches that had loads of berries on them were out of my reach, and my loppers is not extendable. It's not an extendable loppers. I also have a little saw in my pocket, one of those foldable ones, because I thought, oh, maybe I could cut off a big branch, and I realised how big it was. Now, I do have to get my tree shaped and pruned, but during the summer, there was people in the area like knocking, oh, do you need a tree cut? But I didn't trust them. They didn't seem like they were tree specialists. They were just people cutting down trees. And I didn't want the tree to just be butchered and ruined. And also it was the height of summer, so nesting season was still in swing. So now is actually a good time to get my tree pruned. And if you know anybody in like the Dublin, Meath, Kildare area that specialises in cutting your tree but not absolutely butchering it, I don't want it chopped down to nothing. I just want it just shaped, trimmed, and any of the crossing branches removed. So if you know anybody, feel free to pop their business name in the description. For some reason, YouTube blocks links, but if you just like type in a recommendation and then I can go and check it out, I really appreciate that. So if you have had a tree trimmed and it was really good service, please do let me know and help me out on that one. I am taking off a couple of the branches that hopefully has some berries on it, and then I'm going to be cutting some ivy. So in the front, I said in the last garden video, I have a viburnum that I planted last year, and that has lovely foliage on it, but there's not enough on it to prune to use as foliage for a garland. Maybe a wreath. But I'm going to be cutting the ivy that I need to cut anyway. Now, I'm not cutting the berries because you would have saw last year I used the ivy berries and it was beautiful. But this year I want to maybe add in some red berry. So I'm going to be just trimming the ivy that's on the wall that needs to be trimmed anyway. And this is going to be my free foliage. Now, a lot of people don't actually like ivy, but I am a beekeeper and I am here to tell you that this particular ivy, it's usually in flower from mid-September right the way up until October, and it is the last big dinner for the honeybees. It's the last forage before they settle down for winter. So the honeybees will come out, they will forage this, and this has been a great season for ivy honey this year, and it's their last feed. So it's really beneficial for them before they, tuck in and huddle up for winter. Also, I've seen a lot of wasps on it as well. And I know some people don't like them, but listen, they're good pollinators. So I'm going to use the exact same frame we have gotten a lot of projects with this one wire frame. So if you are thinking of doing a garland, whether it's on like your stairs or a mantle. I know a lot of people might not have fireplaces. I think a lot of new builds don't have fires in the home. So if you were doing something for the effect of a mantle, I like to use wire, and this bit of wire, you can pick it up in like most hardware stores. You can get a bit of wire. You can use chicken wire. You might get some like offcuts of that on some of the secondhand sites. I love the wire because you can slot in the stems and it just holds everything. I don't have to use glue. I don't even have to use wire, like individual florist wire. Sometimes with certain foliage, like you will have to use that, but I just love a mesh base and then I stick it in, and I never have to use any glues or anything like that. The old lavender still smells amazing. That lavender garland I did, was it July? I feel like it might have been July. And it was fresh lavender from Wicklow. And I think I used about 5 or 6 bunches. But I do have a video from that from summertime if you want to check that out. And I have loved it. And even as I'm removing it from the base, it smells amazing. And if you're looking for ideas on lavender, in that video I also had the hand stitched lavender bags
So there's loads of crafts you can do with lavender. I have some really old videos on making soap as well, and you can mix in your lavender. I also have the lavender wreath. I think I made that 2 years ago, the lavender wreath. So yeah, if you want, you can just compost it, or I have a few craft ideas in older videos if you want to check them out too. When it comes to putting the ivy garland together, I am focusing on the long pieces first, and I'm going to just tuck the stems in so that they're as secure as they can be. And then I'm just layering onto it, and the goal is to just cover as much of that mesh as I can. So fill in any gaps, try and make it look as symmetrical and appealing to the eye as I can. But honestly, just have fun with it, because like that you can trim it, you can give it a little haircut if some corners are a bit too straggly. Now I do like with ivy, when it's outside, whether it's on a wall, you will see 1 or 2 pieces that kind of hang down, so you can get fun and creative if you want to have that effect. But yeah, the goal is to just cover that piece of mesh so that you can't see it, and to make it look as full as I can. But honestly, don't overthink it and just have fun. So whatever foliage that you use, just keep sticking it in until it's full, and then you can give it a trim.
One of the downsides to filming this time of year is the lighting. So it's only 3:45, but my camera is getting a bit grainy with the lighting. But I'm happy with what I've done so far. So I wanted to add a bit of colour compared to last year. So last year I used the berry off the ivy, and I wanted to do some mulberries, but red. But I don't think my berry idea, I may have to see if I can get something berry-like in the florist maybe. I didn't see any when I was out on my walk. You know how holly can have berries? I didn't see any when I was on my forage. And I also have to be a bit careful about what type of berry I use in case it like drops. The cats are very good. They don't bother with fireplace, but they do with the Christmas tree. But the fireplace is safe so far, touch wood. Now, what I think, I could ruin it if I add too much to it, because right now I just think it looks like really nice. What I was thinking, and also my painting, the reflection of the painting looks lovely. What I was thinking of doing was the orange slices, but maybe the orange, I think it would be a nice contrast, and it is very Little Women Christmas. Also, be careful when you are pruning. Yeah, snip. It's okay, it was only a little scratch, but still. Snip, snip, be careful. Yeah, I was gonna do the dried orange slices, so the dehydrated orange slices. I was going to do them within the garland. So I think I'll come back to this tomorrow in the morning because the lighting, it's a really grey, heavy day. And when the camera starts to get a bit grainy, it starts to not focus and not work. But I think this was progress. And yeah, I think I might do orange, or you could dehydrate apple slices. And the apple slices might, sorry, I'm just looking at it as I'm chatting to you. Yeah, the apple slices might be nice with some red berries. I don't know. But yeah, it's looking lovely and full. And the best part, it was faux free. The bit of wire I bought last year for the Christmas video last year, it has done the lavender garland and now it's doing this year's. So I think we can write off that piece of wire. I think I paid a couple of euro for the bit of wire, and I have reused it for a third time. So in craft math, you've heard of girl math, now it's craft math, it's essentially free. Okay, we will come back and do some more tomorrow. You join me at the air fryer. I have very badly chopped up some oranges. I have dehydrated oranges before in the oven, but there's a dehydrate function on my air fryer and I'm gonna try it. I've never used the dehydrate function on it, but so 60 degrees. Let's put it up, it's letting me go up to 90. Now the only thing is the drawer on my air fryer is quite small. Look how badly, actually the hole might work. No, I'll put in the good one. I don't know if this is gonna work. It does work in the oven. I have tried that. Look, I'll put a small one in. I do have two sides of the air fryer, so that, I wonder if if I stack them, I don't think that will work. Okay. Let's dehydrate. I could Google this. But let's just go raw. Temperature 90. Time. Oh, it's only letting me do it in 6 minutes. Can I do 20 minutes? If you saw the video, can anybody remember? I need to go back and look at it. But the Arboretum, when I was in the one in town, I remember last year they had the dried apples, oranges. There was like a crafty section, pick and mix. But I don't remember seeing it. No, they did have it. Remember I was there last month. I went to the TK Maxx event and then I went into the Arboretum because I am going into town later. My plan B, if I don't get these, I can get these dehydrated. Right, so dehydrate, max 10, max time. So I'm doing the first one, the first box. Start. Oh wow, these are, so I've just took a quick check on the first ones. 4 minutes in and it is drying. Okay. With the dehydrated fruits, they can rehydrate themselves if they get wet. So if you do a wreath, which I have done a wreath before, we've done lots of wreaths on this channel, and I had it hanging up on I think the greenhouse door. I used like foliage and there was dried oranges. I think they're the dried oranges I did in the oven. Well, they rehydrated themselves when they got wet. And it's nice because sometimes the birds, they be picking at them because if you leave the seed in them, you'll see, if you do like a natural wreath and you use like berries and stuff, that's why I don't dip them. You can dip leaves in, I think, vegetable jelly stuff, is it? I'm not too sure. And you can preserve them and make them last longer. But I try not to use that on a wreath because I find the foliage just lasts a couple of weeks anyway. But when you have little berries on it, you do see the birds coming along and like not nesting in your wreath, but you see the tiny little birds having a little look to see if there's something on it. So yeah, I don't use, I don't dip anything to preserve it. I just let it be, and then it goes like in the compost. So last year, just on the on the garland in the sitting room, I topped it up around Christmas with some fresh foliage, but as the ivy dried, it just crinkled in a little, and then I would just add in a couple of bits from the garden, just trim off a few fresh bits. But I got a good 6 weeks out of it. And again, you can just top it up with your foliage. And I don't think I took it down until January. I also used the ivy berries, and they held their shape. I remember I was saying last year I wanted to use hops, but anywhere that was selling hops to use as a garland was like really expensive, like 80, 90 euro, some over 100, 150. So I'm sure if I went into the florist place in town, which I do plan on going, we can go in, and when I have a floor, which is coming very soon, that's another reason why I'm struggling with the whole Christmas crafts, is because my kitchen is still upside down. Like, turn around. Look. And I have no floor. But the floor, will it be in the next video? I think it might. The deadline is fast approaching for delivery dates, and I still have painting skirtboards to do, so it's not appealing to be like crafting in the house when it's upside down. And yeah, so I'm gonna have a cup of tea while I wait for these oranges to dehydrate. I've made a mistake. This is 12 hours, not 12 minutes of dehydrating. Can you see it? It's 12 hours. I thought it was 12 minutes. Does it take 12 hours to dehydrate an orange in the thing? Well, I think it's been about 5 minutes. It's hot in here. No. Like, this side looks a bit dehydrated. Maybe it's 12 hours. Let's Google. How long does it take to dehydrate an orange? 45 minutes to 1.5 hours. To dehydrate orange slices in an air fryer, depending on the temperature and desired dryness. You can use a low temperature around 180 to 190 Fahrenheit or 82 to 88 Celsius. I'm on the 90. With the dehydrate function, if your air fryer has one, or the lowest setting on your appliance, flipping the slices every 30 minutes helps ensure. Why did I think this was going to take 10 minutes? Why did I think this is going to take 10 minutes? Cannot remember how long it took in the oven. I thought the air fryer was gonna zap them. What if I put them in on like an air fryer setting? I feel like I'd burn the house down. Oh, arrange slices in a single layer. Oh, this air fryer has a basket. Cook for 45 to 90 minutes. Flipping every 30. There's an air fryer. Now, this website did say 3 hours. I honestly thought it would be 10 minutes because that's how long my chicken nuggies take. I honestly thought it was 10 minutes. Ha. Hello, we are going to a Christmas event. Also, there is some dehydrated oranges, but just not correct after an hour. Okay, I was going to get the bus, but then I was like, you know what? Very darky outside. There is a Christmas event, and I don't usually go to them, but I did go to one in a previous video, and you guys said you really liked seeing, you know, what Christmassy, like displays and like things for inspiration. So tonight is, sorry, I'm just typing in, Market Bar is where this is on Fade Street. Market Bar is a lovely place for a pint and a bit of food. It's very like casual, like informal-ish. Ordered. Confirm. Yeah. This is an Aldi Christmas thing, and it's like a drop-in, and I was at their wine event during the summer, which ended in a sore head, but I've been told that their Christmas event is really pretty, twinkly, lots of food inspiration. I feel like I don't give you any food content on this channel,
But yeah, I thought we could go into that and see, just get a bit of like festive inspiration. And because my kitchen is still a building site, I thought at least if I bring you somewhere Christmassy, you may forgive me or may not. Okay, my driver is 3 minutes away. So yeah, Market Bar is a lovely place. I'll show it to you. It's real cutesy, even like on a non-Christmas time. Nice little area of the town. Across the road from Market Bar is the Long Hall. And sometimes I get people asking me for like a recommendation for somewhere to go for a Guinness. The Long Hall is like a 2-minute cross the road walk from Market Bar. And that has a lovely pint of Guinness. It also has like carpet on the floor. And it's like, it's to me like one of the best like not touristy, but if you want that authentic little pub feeling, I like the Long Hall. And you will get lots of locals in the Long Hall as well. Or yeah, the Long Hall. Yeah, stay away from Temple Bar will charge you €10 for a pint of Guinness. It's the most expensive pint of Guinness on the land. Temple Bar is somewhere you pass through. Someone recently said in the comment section, would we ever bump into you in Temple Bar? Absolutely not. I would not spend €10 on a pint of Guinness. I go up the other end. I actually can't remember what it was in the Long Hall. I think it was 6 something. Could be pushing 7 now. Oh, let me know in the comment section. I don't think I'll be going to the Long Hall for a pint tonight. But anyway, I've put my extra makeup on. You can tell I am leaving the house. We have eyeshadow. I did put some lippy on. But yeah, same makeup face, just put on with a slightly heavier hand. Just more of the minimalist to give me more coverage for nighttime. So yeah, let us go. So welcome to the Market Bar. And I actually felt like I was at a little Christmas market. Now I did film some chatty bits while I was here, but Michael Bublé was blaring in the background and you could hardly hear me, and I will get a copyright strike if I play that audio. So you will have to settle for a quick voiceover. Now I feel like I got more food inspiration for you here, not so much home decor inspo, but the food looked beautiful. There was obviously the display pieces on the table, and then there was the actual food that you could have and taste. I am not a food content kind of girly. I cook for survival. Maybe, I don't know, in my next decade, I might get into making things look pretty on a plate. But to be honest, I am more about growing the food than making it look pretty. But I did get some inspiration, so if you are maybe hosting for Christmas, you might get some ideas. I ended up just eating so much random stuff. There was a waffle maker and you could get whatever spread you want to put on it. I think I got some Belgian chocolate spread on it. There was a hot chocolate stand. There was champagne. There was cocktails. My stomach, I definitely needed a Rennie or something after that. And of course, there was also Kevin the Carrot, who is getting engaged this Christmas. I got a little picky with Kevin the Carrot. Now, as well as the food, there was the special buy section down the back. Now, I need to ask somebody in the company when those special buys are going live, because there was a Dyson dupe. So there was like a hairdryer. There was also the dupe of those shoes that are popular at the moment. So like the Uggs, I think they're like fluffy Birkenstocks. And there was a couple of kitchen things. So that are similar to, I think like the DeLonghi coffee machine. So they had like their, I don't know if you could call it a dupe, but like their kind of version of it, let's say. There wasn't any dates on when they're going to be in the shop though. I don't have that insider knowledge, but if I get it, I will let you know. So you can follow me on Instagram, and if I find out when any of those things are actually in the shop, I will let you know. Good morning. After so much rain this week and the gloom, look at the sun. Also, I'm feeling fresh today, even though anytime I go to something, my inner 5-year-old comes out and wants to. So I ate a chocolate waffle, had a hot chocolate, drank 1 glass of champagne and had a spicy margarita. All in the space of an hour. And then I left to meet my friend and I was like, I like it, you know when you were like a kid at a party and you would just eat, you'd no control, then you felt sick. You probably got sick on the way home and your ma killed you. Well, she didn't really kill you, but she'd give out and say, why did you eat all them sweets? That's what I feel like last night was. But you are on the air fryer and I am giving you, right, so these are not fully dehydrated. They're still, I don't like the word moist, but they're moist in the middle. So I just wanted to have that little experiment. Do them in the oven. It makes your air fryer smell nice. But these were in here for an hour and a half yesterday. And yeah, they're not, I don't think you're going to save time by doing them in the air fryer, which is what I thought. So there's no orange slices, but yeah, I mean, this one like looks a bit better, but then she's still moist after 2 hours. I can't remember how long it took in the oven, but the thing with the oven, you've got a wider space and you can put them on the trays. With the air fryer, well, with mine anyway, I don't have internal little racks. So if you're going to do the dried oranges for your little women Christmas, I recommend just using the oven. And I think it takes us 3-4 hours. You can just leave them baking in the background. And yeah, I think it's the same. Low heat, 80-90 degrees in the oven. And, oh sorry, you're wobbling. Where are we at? Let's have a look. So here's what the fireplace is looking like now. But I was chatting to Carol in Board Bia and she was saying that there is foliage sellers in Ireland. So remember I was saying about a lot of the UK like Instagrams and vloggers have hops, and I was saying it to her about like where they get into foliage. So she was saying you won't find a lot of hop sellers in Ireland because we don't grow as much. It could be maybe the weather were a bit more wetter, I'm not sure, but she was saying like that's why there's not as many growers. But she says there is growers of other foliage, so like fir, heather. So I am going to, well, there's a couple of things happening. There's a lot happening this week. First of all, as soon as I hit pause on this and end this video, I have to go do the skirting boards. I have to do the architrave, the door surround, because the floor is coming. That's probably going to be the next video. Then the cozy nook, I have plans for that. And I would love to get the cozy nook done, even if it's early December and I get the month out of it. Like I will leave things on it in January. So then that's happening. Another thing, my tiles are on the way for the backsplash. You saw out there, I still have no backsplash. So I just feel like I can do a bit more Christmas decorating early December, which is when most people do it anyway, but just in terms of like YouTube, it feels kind of late. But here is where we are. So actually, do you know what I put on? Remember I got these are the 2 little robins that I got in the Arboretum. They're like just a little bit sentimental. I actually just sat them on because they were in the kitchen sitting on the microwave. So this is, yeah, it's just the ivy and then the couple of berries. But I am going to add to this a little bit more. I don't think I'm going to put the orange slices on it. I think I just like the bit of foliage. What do you think, Miss Bug? Also, I'm after spilling something there. I don't think it's wax. And that's cat pheromones on the... anytime I bring something new into the house, because Miss Bug We have spoken about her renovation anxiety. I have to spray it with cat pheromones so she doesn't pee on it. So, and that's actually very expensive, so I have to use it sparingly. Now, I do want to also get my knickknacks from the attic. So if you remember last year, I had the nature things. I don't want to do this the exact same as last year, but I do want to bring out some of those like elements. So I really like this. I loved lavender summer wreath or garland. I thought it was beautiful, but I think this is like really nice. And also it was free. Please stick with me. In very soon I'll have a floor and I'll be able to do a Christmas tree. I checked on last year's Christmas tree, who was a pot grown one, and I have kept it alive, but some of its spindles are not looking too fresh. It has dropped some of its pine thingies, needles. So it's still alive though. So there is a tree out there. And yeah, just look at all the light in here. So this is what the cozy corner is looking like at the minute. I have to prime and paint all of this. I'm behind on schedule and I have to clean all this up. See all that junk on top of that? I have to clean all of that up and get everything out of the way for the floor fitters. And I just feel like we can do more stuff when we have a floor. But it's coming. Next video, I have a feeling. I'll go into plan. So that is all of my news. Don't do dried oranges in the air fryer. Do them in your oven. And forage for free. And also, don't forget to use your merit link to get your discount if you do want to treat yourself. Or this time of year, great for gifting. So if you do want to, I have my merit is working strong today on my tired skin, but I have the exact same makeup as I did at the started video. I did Le Bon Bon, bit of bronzer, minimalist, bit more minimalist today because just hiding my tired eyes. And then I've nothing on my lips, only a bit of Le Bon Bon. I went like that. So yeah, if you're watching this before the 24th, you can use the code with the link. And if you watch this after the 24th, that link will just work. You can scan the QR code and that link will work and you can treat yourself. Or if you want to get any gifts for people at Christmas, yeah, get your discount. I am going to jump out of Christmas mode and jump back into renovation mode. And yeah, hopefully, yeah, we will have a backsplash and a floor and all this will be forgotten. I'll see you in the next one.